Hi, and welcome to another episode, another opportunity to talk to another business owner. We are here with Mr. Keeler, David Keeler. This is the Business Owner Spotlight, and I am Teresa Strong-Myrick with Action Coach Tampa Bay. So, Mr. Keeler, why don't you just get started by telling us who you are and the company that you're representing today?
Well, thanks very much, Teresa, for having me. Again, my name is David Keeler, and I'm the president of an organization called NationalWay Association. It can be found at nationalway.org if people want to take a look at it and check it out. Been in the industry in the space, as I said, for like almost 42 years this coming January, and have done a wide array of things that we don't have the time to drill down on today. So with the valuable time we do have, I really wanted to focus on the National Way Association and share with your community and people that may watch this and see this. This is an association that's very unique and something we've been working on very diligently for about 18 months. It's got history going back to 1996, and then at some period in the late 2010, 2011 area, it kind of got put on the shelf. And here recently, we decided to kind of pull it off the shelf, revamp it, get it current and up to date, and do something really unique and different. And what that uniqueness is, and the difference that we're making with it, is like a lot of associations that are out there, and there are lots of great associations out there. This one we wanted to be special in the fact that we really wanted to zero in on 5 specific areas of members and potential members, and the vendors that come along with that. So it's agriculture, construction, entrepreneurship or entrepreneurials, hospitality and retail, fitness and wellness, and then finally essential and transitional workers. So one of the things that we wanted to do, whether it was an individual in that silo, if you will, or it was a family in that silo, is to provide benefits and services for them that are real value driven and are very specific to those industries and the people that are part of those industries. So the example I always use, if there's a real estate agent that's an entrepreneur, they don't need access to a tractor discount with John Deere. That might be a benefit that we offer in the agriculture and construction space, and vice versa. As we continue to scale this out and to build it out, that same real estate agent, if you will, wouldn't need access to a discount on crop insurance, as an example. So we're very much the phase 1, and there's the 5 silos, as I mentioned. And there are some commonalities in them. And, you don't need to have 5 different telemedicine benefits or 5 different dental benefits and vision benefits. So there is some commonality between the 5 silos. But once you get past those 3 or 4 benefits, what we've really tried to do in this version 1, phase 1, is to provide those benefits and services that are more specific to those silos and to the individuals that, again, that make up those silos. And as we continue to scale and grow as time goes forward, we will get even more granular on the benefits and services that we provide in each of those silos. So one of the takeaways for me in what we're doing here, and the opportunity to visit with you and your audience today, is most of the time people would be looking for members, and we love members, and we want to have members come to National Way and join and get the value and benefits and services that are so valuable to them and their families. But I'm also looking primarily today for vendors that could be a part of those silos. So if there's somebody, that has a real skill set in the hospitality and retail space, or somebody that has a real skill set in the agriculture and construction space, those are people and businesses that I would love to meet with, to see if there's a common bond and mutual benefit for both sides, not just us, where there's good benefit for them as well.
Wonderful. I love this concept. So I was perusing around on your website for a little bit and trying to understand myself why things were different for each industry. And it's unique in that I was expecting it to be all health related, but it is not.
Correct. And it does have some of that health and wellness commonality that I mentioned, that everyday things that we would use. But as we continue to scale it out and build it out, and the example I used earlier in our discussion here was at the right time, we will go out, and for our agriculture and construction silo, as an example, we will try to find benefits and services for them through quality vendors. That's the key for us, is quality over quantity, is to provide the benefits and services that are granular to them. And again, as I said earlier, maybe it's access to crop insurance, where that particular benefit or need would not make any sense in any of the other
Right.
silos. It's very granular and specific to that. And if you take that philosophy and that concept and apply it to each of the other four silos, then it gets a lot of fun, because they do get more personality and they do get their individual footprint, if you will. So those vendors and providers that will fill those spaces, and we are nationwide. There's
Hmm.
numbers. There's a few states we don't do business in, but overall we're a nationwide organization. And so as we continue to grow out and build out, we're certainly going to be looking for those individuals and businesses that will provide quality benefits and services to these members of National Way, whether they're an individual who's joined the organization or perhaps it's them and their family.
Okay. So earlier you said that this was a natural progression for you. What was going on 18 months ago that made you think that this would be a good idea to revamp?
Well, it was actually a vision of one of our leaders, global leaders in our organization, who came to me and said, "Hey, I've got this idea and I've got this concept, and think that you might be the right person to kind of lead us from where we are to where it is we wanted to go." So, and when it was described to me kind of what his vision was with that, I instantly understood where his vision was at, and the trust was there between he and the
Hmm.
organization, so that we could go out and run with it and build it. And with no disrespect to any organization out there, we're very decentralized in our culture and our leadership. And so
Hmm.
it allows us to move, and allows us to get things done. And it's not perfect by any means, but we don't waste a lot of time and a lot of energy on talking about what we might do. We get out there and we start moving, and then adapt and overcome, pivot, whatever we may have to do to stay on course. But
Hmm.
a great leader, great friend, and the vision that he had, to bring National Way off the shelf, if you will, and get it current with the secretaries of state and all the things that you have to do to be in
Hmm.
compliance, which is another key factor for us. Is we're a very highly compliant organization, not only in the benefits we offer, but the sales practices and the disclosures and things that we provide for our members. So these things are very key for us, and we both have been in the industry for decades and decades and decades.
Right.
So we want to build something that's kind of a legacy based, uh, you know, organization, so that the organization itself will carry on for many, many, many decades after we're no longer to carry on as individuals.
Gotcha. I love it. I love it. So is there anything that you've had to change over the last I know you just started revamping 18 months ago, but you started revamping this in a very volatile, just traumatic era for the world. So what kind of things were going on at that time? Like what things did you have to overcome?
Well, I would say we had more advantages than disadvantages. God bless
Hmm.
technology, and
Nice.
the ability for us to conduct business and do business through the pandemic. And here recently, in St. Petersburg, Florida, where you and I live, our friends to the south over the Skyway, very traumatic events that could have affected us more than they did. But
Absolutely.
we're just, again, as I said, we're very decentralized. And so when this was first brought to my attention, this idea and this concept, I said to my friend, look, you're going to have to pull me back, not push me forward. So I think with that mindset and that leadership and that mentality of, hey, let's go, as Larry the Cable Guy would say, get her done.
Hmm.
We get out there and we move. And if something needs to be pulled back on, or we got to hit the pause button on something, or and I've come across some great people
Hmm.
with great programs, but they weren't necessarily a good fit for us. And so we
Right.
build a good relationship. We don't dismiss the relationship, but we want to have the ability to revisit. So when we get to version 2, 3, 4, beyond, their
Hmm.
particular benefit or service may make a lot of sense for us today. It just didn't make sense for us initially. So I felt like we were blessed, and over the last 18 months, and continue to be that. Thank God we're in a space where we can get things done, even through challenging times in the economy, with the
Hmm.
pandemic, and who knows what's next, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so we're very fortunate, very blessed.
Wonderful. I love that because that just shows that if you have passion and desire and the knowledge to get things done, it really doesn't matter what the obstacle is. You're going to make a way for it to happen. right?
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
if the timing's off, if the timing's off, and that's happened on a few
Mhm.
occasions with people I've visited with, great. I think the relationships could be great, but our timing is probably just a little bit off. And
Mhm.
so, you build that pipeline and that friendship, and you try to help them out. They try to help you out. And when it is the right time to visit and reconsider uh, doing business together to help individuals and families out there in the marketplace, then you've already kind of got your vault of people and
Right.
relationships and things that makes it easy to do business. And I want to say this in our valuable time too, is that
Mhm.
we would never put an opportunity or deal on the table that wasn't fair. I mean, it's one of the things my
Mhm.
father taught me in business is that, you never put a deal on the table that you wouldn't be willing to take either side of. And so I think with that mindset and that philosophy, and in our organization, we want to obviously do well, but we want the people that we do business with to do well.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's got to come down to real value for those individuals and families, regardless of what silo they're in. It has to come down to real value for them and their families, whether it's value driven benefits, possibly optional insurance options that
Mhm.
they can take advantage of. It doesn't matter what it is, it's got to be quality, compliant, and something that is good for everybody.
Wonderful. I love it. Love all of it. So, David, thank you so much for being with us today. Do you have anything coming up that you want the community to know about? I know you mentioned that you're looking for quality vendors.
Yeah, I think that would be the focus on how we might be able to help each other, is that
Mm,
if they will go to nationalway.org, and I don't have any problem sharing my cell number with them as well. It's easy, and you may find it funny living in the area here, but it's 813-727-0098. So it's both of our area codes in the area. 0098. I thought I was brilliant when I got that phone number, except now everybody thinks I'm 98 Rock, the radio station, and
oh,
get those occasional calls. But anyway, I would say, visit nationalway.org, and they can contact me through there. Or again, 813-727-0098. And would love to have a conversation and see if it might be a good fit for us to, do business together, as long as we can bring it back to that individual and family member.
I love it. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time. Thank you guys for watching again. And all his information will be in the description. So don't worry, you have the info and you can follow up with him. All right, you guys have a great day. And thanks again, David, for being with us.
Nice to meet you, Teresa. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.